Good morning, everybody. It's COOLA from Rawstocks and another edition of the pre-market prep here. Just wanted to say, dang, yesterday was crazy, right? Yesterday was crazy. Let's take a look we'll look at SPY, right? Well, let's look at SPY. So yesterday we had a huge sell down into that 631 range on SPY. And then just to have a post-market recovery like crazy. Microsoft, Meta both smashed earnings and both went rocketing, and it really just drove the market up. Currently, I think it's important to talk about IWM's weakness here. Okay, rates are not getting cut. We're seeing an extension of that. And I think that's really putting a lot of tension on IWM. We might do a little special coverage on that if I can blaze through this. But today we're sitting at 640, which is about equivalent to 64.20 right there. Okay, about 64.20. And yeah, let's take a look at this. So quick shout out to our sponsors, Black Box Stocks and Gamma Edge. Without those guys, we would not be able to provide this to you guys every single day. So make sure you take advantage of the links and show a little love and get your discounts on those services. So, okay, moving forward, we are looking at the data this morning. We saw the employment cost actually rise here. So that's always interesting. Let's say over the forecast, even with last month, but we did see an uptick in the core PCE price from 0.2 to 0.3. So that's an interesting little remark here. But look at the Challenger job cuts year over year, 139%. Personal income. So this is always one of my favorites right here in personal spending. So they're a little bit lower than expectations, but we were negative last month in both personal income and personal spending. But we're seeing an uptick in the income and seeing an uptick or a downtick in the spending. So it's an interesting read. My shakeout is that prices are up. And that's why we're getting the personal spending up, but personal income is up as well. So we'll see how that goes. Average hourly earnings tomorrow, non-farm employment change, and then our unemployment rate tomorrow is something to be looking out for. As far as today, nothing really. You're going to have Chicago PMI 15 minutes after open. Shouldn't really impact us. All right, let's take a look at it. So look at today, call dominated. 6,500 is still our ceiling. Starting to see 6,600 grow just slightly. Not anything to be like super aware of. That's probably more so going to get just murdered here. If I had to guess, I haven't really dove into that, but I will and see the expiration on that. But as you can see, 6,400 large wall here, and 6,500 is growing. As far as today goes, the intraday, we're looking at 6,400 to 6,350. Okay, so this is what we need to monitor. All right, this is pretty big because right now here, let's switch over. You know what? We're gonna use a new chart. We're gonna use a new chart. I've been told black looks better. You guys give me feedback in the comment section. Okay, so 6,400 to 6,350. So we'll raise our gamma wall to 6,400. And the low side to 6,350 as here. All right, so we'll expand this. And this is going to be our range. We'll leave that. We can leave this here. That's fine. And 6,400, the upside. We have a lot of overhead shorts here, y'all. A lot of overhead shorts still here, including a massive one here at 6,450. So it's very interesting to see lots of overhead shorts. Now, we'll see kind of how this shakes out. But this is definitely going to try to drive us down initially, in my opinion here. Even though we're stuck in a potential gamma squeeze here over the top of about 64.20, right in this range. But 64.50 is where you really need to be watching potential big short sitting on this thing if we do get the squeeze to the upside. Okay, so 6400 to the upside. We have a transitional. My transitional is all the way really down at 63.75. 63.75, and the flip force is 70. So these are going to come down just slightly. Okay. So our daily pivot here at 63.75, gamma wall at 6400, all the way negative gamma shelf at 63.70, and our negative gamma wall at 63.50. So these are color coded to kind of give you like an insight in where you should be, like what you should be doing, right? This is obviously super positive as it runs up here, but this will be resistance into this area. So as we just talked about, though, we're opening up near the 64.20 to 22 area, and we're going to see initially, in my opinion, this can happen two different ways here. And what do I mean by that? So my first opinion here is that we're likely to see us get sold down towards that 6400 level and retest it to see if it wants to come back up. If we slip 6400 again, and we see a pretty sizable like sell through it, kind of like we saw right here, right? And we talked about shorting it. It's the same thing, right? So we could see that bounce off of that, see the extension towards that bigger short that is up here at 64.50, right? 64.50. That's a large short here. Let's see, large short. You can't even see it. Let's go white. That is a large short right there at 64.50. Now that may change the data, but that's where you subscribe into our premium and getting updates and kind of what we're looking at and how the market's kind of changing. So that's that option. We maintain 6400. If we drop down to 63.75 area, that's fine. That would be your target to the downside. But if we slip this area again, this could cause us to really have a strong sell towards that 63.50 area. But I would assume at that point that we'd still be getting bought up in this range. Okay, that would be my assumption. So watch your 6400 slip for your short. Your target is support here at 63.75. Runner, any type of runner would be for the slip down in this range. So you'd want to see a strong sell straight through this for some level of confidence that we're going to see a continuation down towards 63.50. Let's take a look at SPY real quick. Well, let's just move this. All right. Let's see. All right. All right, so full complex here, 640 is the ceiling. But again, we're over the top of that. Biggest wall past that is going to be 643, okay? 643, which is about equivalent to our 6500 run or 6450 run, and where that big short is up into. Today you can see it's all calls, all gas here on SPY, with 640 being your ceiling and 635 being the support here. So what's this mean for us, right? This means 640 to 635. Let's move this over here, 635. We're going to take this off. And the data here shows us we're all gas over 637. So let's go 637. Our ceiling is at 640. Our floor is at 635. And our shelf is at 636. So when you have your negative gamma shelf here, virtually not a ton here in anything negative. Okay. Okay. So that's what we're looking like here. So it's pretty close to what SPX looks like. It's pretty close, right? Let me double check. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're pretty close to it. It's nothing crazy here. But if we do remain over the top of, say, 640 here, right? And we were just looking at the data, and I think 643 is where a little bit of a short is. That's kind of, like I said, equivalent to where that short is at 64.50. Someone's probably in both spots there, but any move to over 640 or any move to hold over 640, you could see some level of gamma squeeze to the upside. Okay. This is anytime you see a breakout to the upside and see, but here's the deal. Okay. You slip 640, you have to get short here. You have to get short, and you have to keep in mind that revisit to our 6400 level is a little bit further down. Okay. And so keep that in mind about those two areas. All right. Let's move on to Tesla. This is the breakout over the top of this for a move up towards 325. Let's see if the data is going to play here. So full complex, we're call dominated. Still some decent shorts here. Still some a couple decent overhead shorts here, but definitely out favored by longs big time here. Let's look at the short term. 325 is your ceiling here. 320 has a decent one, but 325 is definitely your ceiling to the upside. Over the top of 317 again is our positive support here. 315 remains the negative shelf. And we see the upside towards 325. So nothing's changed in regards to this look here. So we're looking for 325 to the upside. Wouldn't be surprised to see us retest, say 320, right? This has a pretty strong little wall here, but watch for it to test 320. See if it holds 320 into maybe even to yesterday's little recovery candle here, dip into that 319 level. And once you see it get back over 320 and hold it, then you can look for that extension over towards 325. So you're going to see that price likely drive up towards 325. We're in some longs here, and at that point, we'll look to exit near that 325 on probably 99% of them. Okay. And then NVIDIA. So NVIDIA had a very strong overnight. We're into that 182. We've been talking about this expansion for NVIDIA, looking the best it's looked in a long time. And 180 is definitely the wall here, and also the gas for NVIDIA here. But will they allow this to continue to move over the top of 180? Probably so. Not anything substantial. I mean, you're talking about a huge change. Yeah, it's a pretty sizable move here. So anything to the upside here, you're probably looking. There's nothing clear here in regards to your ceiling besides 185. That's it. Especially short term. So we are on a breakout up here. Now, you're over the top of the resistance. So will it draw it back to 180? There's a definite possibility to that case. Okay. Because as of right now, 180 is your ceiling and 170 is your floor. Okay. So 170 is your floor. So can it draw it back down into this? Absolutely. Absolutely. Boy, why do I have so many alerts here? Okay. So let's draw this up. 180. That's funny. It's virtually the same. 172, 180, and 170, 170. And that's all we got. So this is template. This is your positive gamma support. This is your negative gamma wall. Negative gamma wall. And this is your positive gamma wall. So you can see up here, we're in a gamma squeeze territory, right? So you can see this thing try to make its move towards 185. At 185, I think you'll likely get snuffed if we make it up there. Watch for it to return towards 180 into tomorrow as a possibility. But depending on the strength that we see, if we see a ton of strength going in here, I really would not be surprised to see it try to run into 190 and even 195. And I know that sounds crazy, but I would not be surprised to see that happen. A move like that towards 190 would likely bring the S&P alone just on this stock probably up by, I don't know, 0.2 on it, the SPX, or maybe 0.15, something like that, just on NVIDIA alone. So in regards to balancing. So there's a lot of things that jetted up here. A lot of things that had really positive. Look at right here, after hours. A lot of things really positive here. So you got to be careful here with NVIDIA. This is not something that I like playing here unless you see some type of retest at 180 and see a lot of volume come in, looking to go back to the upside. And at that point, you can start to look for some 185 lottos, or just getting 180 calls and just, for next week and see if you can ride it up. Okay. Slip 180. Sure. You can go short. It's not ideal. I mean, this is the best bullish setup we've seen. But if you slip 180, sure, you can start looking for maybe like a 175. But I don't think you'll get down to 172 and a half. I find that hard to believe. So that's kind of what we're looking at, y'all. Hopefully you like this new way that I'm setting it up. Cleaner chart. And if not, let me know. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. My bad. Psych. Fake out. Told you I'd look at IWM. Let's take a look at IWM real quick. All right, so we're sitting, we're 220. 220 right now. There's a good amount of shorts here. It's put dominated, actually. So this is very insightful here that IWM is put dominated for a full complex here and pretty sizable. We have a lot of overhead shorts today. Your floor's at 220. So virtually 220 to 222 is kind of what we're looking at. So that just kind of tells me that we're probably looking at some type of level of suppression here, kind of maintain. And this is a lot of times where we get that, little bear flag, right? Where we just kind of chop here, and then people are like, oh, if it breaks here, we're going down. Yeah, that's this right here. That's probably what's going to happen today. Oh, man. Now, if we break out over the top of, need to make a template for that. If we break out over the top of this, sure, you can look to try to go long over it, but there's a lot of overhead shorts here. So will this change? Potentially. You guys would have to make sure that you either sign up for Gamma Edge or see kind of what our thoughts are throughout the day as data updates. So that's what we're looking at there. And let me cue this up with what I'm looking at. And it's just all shorts here, y'all. Even 219. 219 is probably, I probably need to lower this to 219, but I think I will. I think I will. Just the amount of shorts there. I will put that as the floor. But you start breaking below 219, this is probably going to be a drastic sell-off, driving us down and maybe see us go back towards something like that 216 to 215 area. So there is no positive support here. This is all negative here. So this is only playing this range. This is your negative wall, and this is your positive wall. So there's no in between. This is literally dead man's zone here. You'll lose money playing in the middle here. Look for these two to play here, okay? Watch for these two to play here. You can look to go long and hold 219 and try to get the drive up towards 222. If you break outside 222, sure, by all means, you could try to take a little bit of a lotto, see if this thing wants to get squeezy on the market. But my best guess is that this is going to maintain some level of choppiness in this range here for today and maybe even into tomorrow. Yeah, still a lot of shorts there. So we'll see how it shakes out. So anyways, you know, just to be clear, with the no rates being adjusted here, this really hurts, you know, little smaller companies on IWM. It also hurts tech companies, and we're seeing those jump on earnings. So maybe an opportunity where we see a bigger market correction where this is all just a fake out and see a sell down. We'll see. So as of right now, we got to follow our trend here. We did see the close below our daily 4, but we're seeing a massive gap up, which would indicate a potential distribution to the upside, or we're going to see a massive sell-off again. So, all right, guys, thanks for tuning in, and until tomorrow, we'll catch you next time.